Formation. They've got Jay Courtney split out wide to the right side of the field. On the left-hand side, they've got Derek Paquin. In motion go the Elwood Panthers. Back to pass. Etchison looks down the near side of the field. It's incomplete to John Bunch, the tight end. Etchison going to Bunch, and the pass was overthrown. Bunch needed to be about 6'7" to pull that one down.
Sure did, John. Elwood coming out trying to get off to a quick start with a little swing out pass there, a little sprint out. Incomplete, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 now for the Elwood Panthers.
Panthers, as you mentioned, face a 2nd and 10 from their own 37-yard line. And they're going to go with a pro set backfield as they split the backs instead of the I formation they went with originally. Here come the Panthers as Etchison calls out the signals. And it's a running play off of left tackle. Chris Noon is going to go maybe a yard at best that time as the Elwood Panthers just couldn't seem to get the hole open for Noon to run through.
Trying to run into the heart of that defensive line, number 32, the middle guard, Jason Reilly, and also 68, Chad Dyer in there. Picks up about 2 yards, John. It'll be 3rd down and 8 now.
Well, Elwood is running in a couple of different players when they're calling their plays. And I'll set those players up for you in a second. Here come the Panthers from the I formation, rolling back to pass as Etchison lets one fly, nearly intercepted by Tom Courtney near midfield. Courtney had a hand on it, but he just couldn't pull it in. Incomplete pass brings up 4th and 9 for the Elwood Panthers, and they're going to have to punt from their own 40-yard line. Good defensive stand that time for Alexandria. We've only played 59 seconds in the ball game. Alex going to get a chance to get the football.
Number 21, Tom Courtney's that monster, man. He'll move all over the place. John out there real quick on the flat, helping out on the pass defense, knocks that ball down. 4th and 9 now.
Back deep for the Alexandria Tigers will be Courtney and Todd Breeze. Tom Courtney, Todd Breeze, back to punt for Elwood. John Bunch, number 32, standing on his own 30, lets it go off the foot. Alexandria's Todd Breeze fumbles the punt, and he can't get back a hold of the football, and Elwood has recovered the football, and that time Alexandria, I thought Todd Breeze just didn't have the football before he started to run with it. It hit him in the shoulder pads, bounced off, and before he could scramble and get back on top of the football, Elwood recovers. And Elwood's got the ball deep in Alexandria territory.
Number 3, Jay Courtney recovered that fumble. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Elwood from about the 24-yard line, John.
Well, I would say that was a high percentage punt for him, no doubt about it. They moved the ball all the way down to the Alexandria 23 after Alexandria fumbled that punt return. Here come the Elwood Panthers. Etchison hands off to Chris Noon. Noon goes off the left side of the line, and Noon is inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. We'll wait and see where I spot it. Maybe 18 or 19, Jim.
Number 75, Brad DeRuz over there real quick. Picks up about 5 yards on that carry, John. It'll be second. They give him 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6 now for Elwood.
Elwood, 2nd and 6 from the Alexandria 19. This drive set up by a fumbled punt return by Alexandria's Todd Breeze. From the pro set, here come the Panthers. Etchison hands off, first back through, and Noon gets down inside the 15, about at the 14-yard line, Jim. Pick up of about 5.
Real quick, right off that left tackle, number 62, Clarence Burr in there for Alexandria. Should be real close to a 1st down. Picks up about 5 on that carry. It'll be 3rd and 1.
9 minutes, 38 seconds to go, first quarter. Hope you're with us in the Battle of 28. Alexandria against Elwood this evening. Panthers in a pro set. And they've got split out wide to the right-hand side, up to Graff. In motion is Courtney to the right side. And here's Etchison going to the left side. He hands off to the first back through. And Elwood down deep in Tiger country, down to about the Tiger 5-yard line. Ball carrier once again was Chris Noon for Elwood.
Left side of that Elwood offensive line doing a good job on that Alexandria defense. Number 62 and Clarence Burr and 51 Greg Clark in on those tackles again. The linebackers doing it right now.
9:10 remains in quarter number 1. Elwood's going to bring out wide to the right-hand side. Derek Paquin to the left-hand side. We'll pick up a number for you in a second. From the pro set, it's Elwood in motion. From left to right is Jay Courtney. Here come the Panthers. Handoff goes the first back through. And Noon very close to the Tiger goal line, down around the 1.
They just keep going right at the left side of that line, John, and so far Alexandrian hasn't been able to stop it.
Well, it looks like Chris Noon, if anything is going to indicate how much they're going to go to him, it might be this first quarter. Noon's carried the ball
5 times now, John,
already.
For 22 yards.
8 minutes, 28 seconds to go first quarter. Elwood from the Tiger 1-yard line, and diving over the top of the defensive Tiger line is Elwood's Chris Noon. Noon goes in from 1 yard out, and the Elwood Panthers go up on the board first tonight. It's Elwood 6, Alexandria nothing.
Didn't take too long. Of course, that fumbled punt return by Tom Breeze, John, sets up that touchdown for Elwood, and Elwood just takes it right down the field, right off the left side of that line, and it's 6-0 now with 8:23 to go in this first quarter. Elwood will try the extra point. It'll be number 50.
It's Tim Falstick.
Tim Falstick on trying the extra point.
Courtney will hold, low snap. Courtney picks it up. Falstick puts a foot into it, but it's wide. No, they say yes, it just did get inside the far side goalpost, and it's good. Falstick adds the extra point, and it's 7-0 Elwood. And that touchdown by Elwood was set up by a costly Alexandria miscue. It was a punt return situation. Breeze fumbled it on the punt return. Elwood recovers and then takes it 24 yards in for their first score of the night.
Just right down the field, like you were saying, John, right off the left side of that line must be, of course, Chris Noon, the workhorse there, carried the ball 6 times on that series for 23 yards. 8:23 to go. Elwood's on the board first, but of course this is the battle of 28, and anything's going to happen in this ball game.
Well, looking at the Elwood Panthers as a team, offensively, their pass completion ratio is right at 50%. And they went mainly to the ground that time with Chris Noon doing the bulk of the ball carrying. We had 6 rushes for 23 yards. Of course, they only needed to go 24 to get into that end zone. 8:23 to play first quarter. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon we've got IU football on Indiana Country, WAXT, as Indiana takes on Kentucky.
I believe Spike picked IU to win that one, didn't he, John?
I think so.
Of course, we're talking about Spike's a sports hound at WAXT.
For Elwood to kick, it's Tim Falstick. Back deep for Alexandria to receive. The kickoff is Moorhead and Brett King. And the kick is low, and it bouncing around the 25. Alexandria's Tom Courtney finally picks it up at the 25-yard line. Tried to reverse his field, and he ended up getting sacked at the 23. So the net yardage on that return is about 2 yards for Tom Courtney. It was just one of those kickoffs that went down maybe 15 yards in the air and then bounced high and just continued to roll. Finally, Courtney decided to pick it up when the heat was on. The Panthers were in his face, and Courtney net return of negative 2 yards on that kickoff.
Number 39, Kevin Updegraff down real quick to get that tackle. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
Clock in motion, 8 minutes, 6 seconds. It looks like the Tigers are a little bit confused on the offense there. And Chad Phipps came running over to the far sideline. And I think Alexandria is missing a player out there, and that's Tom Courtney. And Tigers had to use a timeout to get Courtney back on the field.
A little bit of a confusion out there. Real excited watching Chad Phipps because excellent quarterback, John. Big kid, can see over that line, loves to throw the ball, strong arm, and I can't wait to see him play again tonight. 8 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. Elwood strikes first off a fumble punt return by Todd Breeze.
8 minutes and 3 seconds to go in quarter number 1, and we might see a little razzle-dazzle here.
I look for a lot of passing tonight, John. I really do. Of course, Elwood comes out, passed a couple times already in this ball game. Of course, like I was saying with Chad Phipps, loves to throw that ball.
Well, Alexandria with their first offensive possession, they fumbled away their first chance at it on a punt return. Todd Breeze fumbled it. Elwood picked it up and stuck it in from 24 yards out on several plays. Noon got the 1-yard touchdown run. Falstick the extra point. 7-0 Elwood. Alexandria first offensive possession. And it's a quarterback keeper. Phipps, he's up over the 40 and up over the 30 and near the 40-yard line. He's going to be brought down around the 38. And it was a fake to the halfback coming through the line, and Phipps turned around on the quarterback keeper and rambled for a first down. And Phipps goes, what, maybe about 14 yards?
14 yards on that pickup there because Phipps had a long way to go. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria from the 36.
Elwood right now going with the 5-man down defensive line. Here's Alexandria trying to go up the gut on a running play, and Craig Eaton has no place to go. He might have picked up a yard or two, but he ran right into a wall of Elwood Panthers.
Number 32, John Bunch, a linebacker, and also number 60, Rod Bursell, stands that up, stacks it up. They give him about 2 yards on that pickup, John. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now.
We've got 7:18 to play first quarter in this Central Indiana Conference matchup between the Elwood Panthers and the Alexandria Tigers. Elwood has drawn first blood. They score with 8:23 to go first quarter, thanks to an Alexandria miscue. Alexandria now with their first offensive possession. First, well, we'll call it 2nd and 8 for Alexandria from about their own 38. Handoff goes right up the gut, and maybe the Tiger runner, it looks like Brett King might have got to near the 40-yard line. Give him a couple yards on that carry.
A couple yards, once again, number 32, John Bunch, the linebacker, in on that. Stops him after 2 yards pickup. It'll be 3rd and 6 now from about the, what is that, 40 and a half or 41-yard line?
Yeah, it looks real close to the 41-yard line. Scoreboard says 3rd and 6. We'll go with that. 6:30 and the clock rolling down in the first quarter. Alexandria breaks out of that huddle. And for the Tigers, they're going to go from a pro set backfield. Here's Phipps on the quarterback keeper, turns it up, and he's picked up about, well, near midfield. He's up to the 49-yard line of Alexandria. We've got an injured Elwood Panther, and once again, that was that fake to the running back, and then Phipps on the quarterback keeper. Phipps gets it up to the 49, enough for a 1st and 10. He only had to go to about the 46, so he picked up 3 additional yards on the carry.
Number 71, Wally Moody, the injured player down for Elwood.
That's 9 yards so far for Chad. Well, on that carry it was 9 yards, and so far Chad Phipps is
23 yards, John.
23 yards, 2 carries. That's not bad. 11.5 yards a tote.
Not a bad at the field, limping off the field under his own power, however. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria from the 49.
Courtney split out wide to the far side of the field. Here come the Tigers in a pro set, kind of an uneven backfield. And the handoff goes to Eden. Eden over midfield, and he's to about the 48-yard line. Give Eden a gain of 3 for the Tigers on that carry. He's to the Elwood 48.
Number 52, Randy Burris on that tackle for Elwood. Picks up 2 yards. They give him 3, okay. 3 yards to be 2nd and 7 now.
Well, tonight's not the only night we've got high school football in the air on Indiana Country. Tomorrow we go to Muncie Central High School's football field, and it'll be Yorktown against Muncie Northside. We'll have airtime for Muncie North and Yorktown at 7:05 tomorrow night. So we got a doubleheader this weekend for you on WAXT. Here come the Tigers, 2nd and 7. Ball carrier is King. King might have picked up a yard at best as he falls forward.
A lot of resistance in there for Elwood. Number 32, John Bunch in there. Again, the linebacker, also 86, Joby Gibbons for Elwood. Picks up 1. It'll be 3rd and 6 now.
Well, since the last time we were here, I think Alexandria has added the name Ellick on their helmets.
I believe you're all right, John.
I remember they were just a plain, solid red, and then the yellow or gold. Here come the Tigers, 3rd and 6. 4:47 remaining. First quarter. Tigers in the I formation behind Phipps, the quarterback. Takes a snap from Selvey, and it's a reverse. Breeze over the 45, and he's driven out of bounds at the 43-yard line. I think if Breeze cuts down his route, he might pick up an extra 5 yards, but he elected to go wide to the outside on that reverse, and it gave Elwood the defensive pursuit that they needed to catch Breeze before he could get any further.
Basically, just ran out of real estate, like you're saying. Number 39, Kevin Updegraff, runs him out of bounds for Elwood. It'll be 4th down and about to 1 now.
He goes back against the grain. Breeze has got a 1st down. He goes out wide. They knock him out of bounds. He's what, maybe a yard shy? They say a long yard. Looks like an awful long yard.
Real long yard.
Yeah.
So it looks like Alexandria will punt. I thought maybe Fred Avant might take a chance here.
It's going to be Waymeyer standing back at the 45-yard line, his own 45. And Waymeyer puts a foot into it. High, booming punt. Nice punt. Fair catch call for Elwood at the, we'll call it 13-yard line. Fair catch by Elwood, and down there to fair catch it was Chris Noon. Noon fair catch it right at the Elwood 13, and Alexandria got just a little bit over midfield and had the drive stalled at 4th and 1. They need to go down right around the Elwood 40. And like I said, maybe Breeze cuts it up. Alexandria still has this drive going, but you can't play the if game too long.
That's right. 4:28 left in this first quarter. 7-0. Elwood strikes early off a fumbled punt return. It'll be 1st and 10 now. Elwood deep.
Here come the Panthers. They got Courtney split out wide to the right side, near side of the field, left-hand side. Looks like Derek Paquin. Here come the Panthers. Handoff goes to Noon. Noon up over the 20. He's to the 22, up over the 25, and Chris Noon goes from the 13 to the 25 or 26. About a 13, 14-yard gain, depending on where they spot the ball. And Noon, once he got past the original line of scrimmage, he turned on the afterburner.
Broke a couple tackles inside. Number 11, Derek Thurston, finally basically just runs him out of bounds. Also number 21, Tom Courtney over there. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Elwood.
Well, Noon, as I mentioned before, on Elwood's only scoring drive, carried the ball a considerable bit so far, 7 times tonight, 36 yards for Chris Noon unofficially. Elwood from the I formation. Handoff by Etchison goes right up the gut, and it looks like the ball carrier for the Elwood Panthers will be Cale Martin. And that's our first look at Cale Martin tonight, number 11.
Runs it right up the middle on Alexandria. Number 72, Jason Reeling, and also 62, Clarence Burr in there on that tackle. Picks up about 3 yards, though, John. It'll be giving 4, 2nd down and 6.
3:16 and the clock rolling to play first quarter, 2nd and 6 for the Elwood Panthers from about the 30. The ball resting the nose of it right on the Panther 30. In motion is Courtney to the left-hand side of the field. Here's Etchison. He's handing off to Costin. Costin dives forward off left tackle, and Costin, well, as soon as we pick up a yard marker, it looks like about the 34-yard line.
Number 51, Greg Clark, trips him up on that one, John. It'll be should be 3rd down and about 1 now for the first down.
Well, try to look at that Alexandria defense and see what you can make of it. They're giving a lot of different looks to the Elwood Panther offense, trying to keep them off guard, and looks like a split 6, and they got them backers, Clark and Burr, kind of tucked in there.
You'll see Clarence Burr sneaking up on the line a lot, John. He plays around a lot.
Etchison hands off the first back off left tackle, and he goes no place, Mr. Johnson.
Of course, we're talking about that defense. Alexandria likes to run that monster back, John, and if you're not familiar with the monster back, he kind of rows around. He's the size of about a cornerback, moves all around, kind of throws the defense off.
Well, here we go again. It's 4th, and we'll call it 1 for the Elwood Panthers. Last time the Panthers punted, it looked like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because at the other end, Breeze fumbles the punt return. Elwood recovers, and they take it in for a touchdown eventually. Back deep to receive the punt from John Bunch of Elwood is Todd Breeze and Tom Courtney. And the kick is away. Wobbly kick picked up by Alexandria's Todd Breeze at the 35. He's the 40, 45. He's at the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, down to about the 33-yard line of Elwood. And Todd Breeze, a beautiful return, and he's trying to make up for the time that he fumbled before. Todd Breeze trying to redeem himself, and that certainly will help in the mind of Coach Fred Avant from that fumble last time. He goes from heel to hero this time.
That's right, John. Of course, he just ran out of room on the side. Chris Noon ran him out of bounds. If he could have cut back maybe a little sooner, it would have been for 6 points. But it's a very good return. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
About a 32-yard punt, and Breeze returned it all but 3 yards of that, 29-yard punt return. Here comes Alexandria, 1st and 10 in Panther territory at the 34. Tigers use a running play off left tackle with Brett King. King goes down to about the Elwood 30, but a 29, we got 29-yard punt return unofficially by Todd Breeze. Last time he fumbles it, this time Jimmy returns it.
So Coach Avant's going to let him play a little bit more, but number 86, Joby Gibbons, in on that tackle. Picks up of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now for Alexandria from the 30-yard line.
Tigers with their best field position so far tonight against the Elwood Panthers. They've got it 2nd, and we'll call it 7 from the Elwood 30-yard line. Tigers in a pro set. Phipps calling out the signals. He hands off, 2nd back through. It's Brett King. King diving forward, gets inside the Elwood 25, just barely, and knows that football, well, they're going to say right on the 25.
Number 34, Chris Noon, outside linebacker, is on that tackle for Elwood. It'll be 3rd down and 2 now.
5-yard carry for Brett King on that last run. Alexandria using their plays in off the bench with wide receivers alternating Tom Courtney and Gary Waymeyer. Well, we're down to 24 seconds to play first quarter. Tigers might have a chance for one more play here before the end of the first quarter. Down to 18, clock rolling. And I thought we had a quick snap there. Phipps dives forward, and he's close to a 1st and 10, but still I think just a hair shy. We're down to 13 seconds to play first quarter.
Number 63, J.C. Wright, also 32, John Bunch, the 2 linebackers, and number 60, the middle guard, Rod Birdsall, stacks it up in there. Phipps just trying to lean forward for the first down, but I don't believe he made it on that.
He stretched that 6'5" frame out about as far as it could go, and they're going to bring the chain gang out to take a look at this measurement. Tonight's game being brought to you by Cobe Furniture in downtown Alexandria, home of quality Spring Air back supporter mattresses. You know, if Vanna White can sleep on a Spring Air and Martin Cobe can, you know, sleep on a Spring Air, but they don't sleep on it together. But if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for most people.
I was going to ask you if they did, Joe. Chad Phipps does pick up that first down now, John, getting off the track a little bit there. As the first quarter's winding down, 5 seconds to go. 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
That's going to be it. Tigers not going to get a playoff before the end of the first quarter. At the end of 1 quarter of play from Alexandria, it's Elwood 7, Alexandria nothing. Well, Alexandria, this offensive drive set up by a 29-yard punt return from Todd Breeze, spotted Alexandria in great field position inside the Elwood 30 or 35-yard line, and now the Tigers have it. Well, we'll wait and see where they spot the ball. Looks like about the 23. Alexandria will have it 1st and 10, they say. At the end of that quarter, I guess Phipps did get enough for the 1st and 10.
Sure did. Just stretched out about 2 inches, Johnny made it by.
Tom Courtney split out far to the far side of the field, to the left side. Here's Phipps calling the signals. Phipps hands off to Brett King. King dives forward. King's inside the 20, down to about maybe the 16, 17-yard line. And King, and we're going to spot King's progress about, we'll give him 6 yards on the carry. 2nd and 4 for Alexandria, and the Tigers need to go to right about the 13-yard line, close to the 13-yard line for another 1st and 10. 11:35 to play to the half in a CIC battle of 28 between Alec and Elwood. Here come the Tigers. Phipps calling out to Cadence. Hands off, first back through. Eden just dives forward. And Eden might have got to the 15, between the 15 and 16.
Number 60, Rod Birdsall, the 5'11", 180-pound junior middle guard for the Elwood Panthers, gets him right at the line of scrimmage. They give him 1, I guess, on that, John. It'll be 3rd and 3 now for Alexandria from what, the 16-yard line?
We'll call it 16. You know, the tables have turned over the last few years. Elwood's had the bigger offensive and defensive lines. This year, that right belongs to Alexandria. And over the last few years, Alexandria's had quicker and smaller lines, where Elwood's got the quicker, smaller line this year, but not the beef. Here come the Tigers, and it's Brett King with a beautiful run. He gets more than enough for a 1st and 10. King goes from the Elwood 16 down to about the 10-yard line of Elwood. 6-yard carry for Brett King, the sophomore. And I heard Fred Avant talk to Bob Harold on Hoosier Hysteria last week. He said, this sophomore is going to be a good one. I don't know if he's going to be better than his older brother, just graduated, Ricky King, but he's going to be a good one. And we're starting to see glimpses of that now.
He's looking real good tonight. Carried number 32, John Bunch, linebacker, about 5 yards on his back there, John.
Tigers 1st and goal from the 9-yard line of Elwood. Phipps handing off, going off right tackle. And it looks like Ricky King, and King dives forward to near the 5-yard line. We'll call the 6-yard line.
Number 32, once again, John Bunch in on that tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6 now for Alexandria from the, like you said, John, 6-yard line.
10 minutes and 4 seconds to play, first half. Elwood leads it 7-0. A 1-yard touchdown by 1-yard touchdown run by Chris Noon, and the extra point by Tim Fallstick. Here come the Tigers, 2nd goal from the Elwood 6-yard line. Pitch back from quarterback Phipps to Brett King. King goes outside. He's inside the 5, and good defensive pursuit. When that play was developing, it looked like Brett King might make it into the end zone, but Elwood's quick defense stops him shy.
Had a real quick cutback on that by Brett King, and game-saving, well, touchdown-saving tackle by number 63, J.C. Wright there, the linebacker. Moved to linebacker from the defensive line just for this game, John.
Running into play for the Tigers will be Waymeyer. Exiting over here to the sidelines is Courtney. 9:18 to play, first half. What do you think the Tigers going to do? 3rd and 4 from the Elwood 4.
Brett King.
You think Brett King off tackle?
Sure do.
Okay, we'll see if you're right. 9:05 to play, first half. Here's the pitch back to King. He goes off left tackle, and he goes down close to the goal line. And a couple of the Elk players are saying about a foot away from a touchdown. You were right. They went to King.
Every once in a while I
You're
get
getting
one
good at
right,
this,
John.
You're getting good at this.
Well, I've been around you for 4 weeks now.
4 weeks
you know, that's
now,
what
you're
it
starting
is.
to guess them.
Number 32, John Bunch, meets Brett King at the
A
line.
little bit by one of the assistant coaches. Big 4th and 1 play here in the first half. Alexandria trails 7-0. They've got it 4th and about a foot from the Elwood goal line. Let's see what happens. Phipps pushes forward and he gets in. Chad Phipps from 1 yard out puts the Tigers on the board here in the second quarter. And now the Tigers have a chance to tie up the game.
Of course, Chad Phipps, a big boy, John, like you said, about 6'5". It's tough, leaning forward. Rod Birdsall, the middle guard for Elwood, trying to stop him, but he just leans forward, gets that touchdown. 8:43 to go in the first half. Elwood still ahead, 7-6, but Alexandria will now try that extra point to tie this ball game up.
Well, it took a lot of second effort. It looked like Phipps might be stopped just shy, but he forged just enough ahead to get over the goal line and get that 6 for Alexandria. 7-6, here's the extra point. Poe, the kicker, and it is blocked by Elwood. The snap was low. The holder, Brandon Allen, just did get the football on the kicking tee, and the trajectory of the football really never went more than about 5 foot off the ground.
I'm not so sure on that one, John, that one of the Alexandria offensive linemen might not have gotten hit in the back of the head by that ball and tipped it, but like you said, no height on the ball. But number 40, Rob Morrow, in there real quick for Elwood.
I've been accused of, back when I used to play, of punting the football into one of the blockers on my team's back.
Oh, John, you wouldn't do that, would you?
Yeah, I did it once. Went straight up in the air. Everybody ran downfield, and where's the ball at?
He went
about 50 yards straight up.
John said, I can kick 50-yard punts, but they're straight up.
They're straight up, you know.
7-6, John, the battle of 28. 8:43 to go in this first half.
Much easier to talk about it than do it.
It sure is. That was many years ago. We're just old men now, John.
Yeah.
And speaking of old men, join Bob.
There.
Speaking of old men, join Bob Harold tonight for Hoosier Hysteria right after the ball game.
Yeah, Bob's got a lot of gray.
Sure does.
We give him a lot too.
Yep.
Bob Harold, Hoosier Hysteria, all the latest high school scores from the area around the state. He talks college and professional sports. Give him a call. Bob Harold, Hoosier Hysteria, both on Indiana Country WXT and WHBU, our sister station. It's simulcast. Here's Poe to kick off after the touchdown by Alexandria. Poe boots it deep. It's picked up by Elwood. And it's Jay Courtney picking it up at the 15. He's up over the 30 to the 31, 35. And Courtney, they say, is going to be brought down to the 34. He goes from the 15 to the 34. That is a 19-yard kickoff return by Jay Courtney. 19 yards.
I didn't think they're going to be able to bring him down. Spun off a couple of tacklers there. Finally, number 35, Brad Lockwood, in on that tackle for Alexandria. It'll be first down and 10 now from Elwood from right at the, I believe they mark it, 34-yard line, John.
8:28 to play. First half. 7-6, Elwood up on top of Alexandria. Tigers missed their point after on their touchdown. It was blocked. Here's Etchison handing off to Noon. Noon goes off right tackle. Maybe gets a couple yards up to about the 36 of Elwood. We'll give a 3-yard gain to Noon.
Number 11, Derek Thurston, coming up, the cornerback for Alexandria on that tackle. Pick up a 3. It'll be second down and 7 now.
Yeah, these scoreboard keepers, they don't want to agree with the broadcasters. Scoreboard keeper gives him 2 yards, we give him 3. When you know it's my neighbor on the scoreboard.
Well, that and Elwood's got the ball, John, so.
He's making it longer, huh? Here come the Elwood Panthers. It's a running play off left tackle. And the ball carrier is Gary Costin for the Elwood Panthers. And the stop was by Greg Clark.
Number 51, Greg Clark, comes up there real quick. They give him, 1, John? Give him a pickup of 1, maybe? Short 1. It'll be third down now and 6.
Well, here come the Elwood Panthers. We'll call it, 3rd and 6. 7:13 to play, first half. I formation for the Panthers. Etchison rolls back, looks downfield to pass. He's under pressure, and a dying Quail is just barely complete to a diving receiver That is John Bunch that tied in. Not much zip on that pass by Etchison, but it got the job done as Bunch went sliding across like he was going into second to steal it and was able to catch the ball.
What did you call that pass, John? A
dying quail. You ever seen a dying quail?
Yes,
you ever
I
been
have.
quail hunting?
Yes, sir.
When it's dead, it just kind of... Yeah, anyway.
Very good analogy, John. 1st and 10, though. Now.
I don't get paid the big bucks for the analogies. I don't get paid big bucks at all.
Oh, sure you do.
6:46 remaining in the first half. Pitch back goes to Chris Noon. He's up over midfield to the 45. He's down inside Tiger territory to the Tiger 36-yard line. And Noon with a beautiful run. And how about yardage on that one for Chris Noon?
I'm going to give him about 15 yards on that, John. It's a big pickup running around the right end.
A little bit closer to 20, though.
Is it 20?
Yeah, because he started at about the 44, so we go from the 44 down to the... Well, we'll see 36 is where they spot it. So you got 6 to midfield, and then you've got another 14, about 20 yards.
Number 62, Clarence Burr, finally ran him down. 1st and 10 now for Elwood.
Come the Elwood Panthers, 1st and 10 from the Alexandria 36-yard line. Pitch back goes to Costin. He's over the 35 down to about the 32-yard line. And the sophomore Costin, not a bad running back.
He's a pretty good-sized ball player. Number 62, Clarence Burr, runs him down. Pickup of what on that? 5, John? It'll be 2nd down and 5 now.
At halftime, we'll get a word with our mini coverage guy, Jim King, and we're also going to have an interview at halftime with the undefeated, I believe, Alexandria tennis team's coach, and that is Doug Beller. 5:50 to play, clock rolling down, first half. Here come the Elwood Panthers, 2nd and 5. Pitch back goes to Noon. He's going wide to the outside. Beautiful play by the Alexandria Tigers. And it was Jamie Heiser shooting through, and he caught Noon by the back of his jersey and thrown him for a big loss.
Very good shoot in there by Jamie Heiser, like you were saying, John. That's some of the things this Alexandria defense will do. They'll shoot people around. They got that monster man, gets real confused. Fred Avant just likes to break things up.
Nobody picked Heiser up. He just went right through an open lane and said, "Hi, Mr. Noon, I'm here to bring you down."
Throws Noon for a big loss, John, of about 10 yards, I believe.
5:10 in the first half, and the clock ticking down. Elwood, 3rd and 13 from about the Tiger 40. Man in motion, Courtney, right side of the field. Back to pass, Etchison looking down here to the near side of the field. Cutting across is Paquin, and the pass is well underthrown. And good defense there by Alexandria's Dean Moorhead. He was in the vicinity, and he really had the best shot at catching the pass.
Sure did, John. The receiver very well covered. A couple ball players. Moorhead was back there. Also number 20, Brandon Allen back there. So a very good job. That number 21, that monster back, Tom Courtney back there. He's all over the field on this Alexandria defense.
It'll be John Bunch, the Elwood punter, in now as Elwood faces a 4th and 13 from the Alexandria 40. Elwood's had a couple of decent punts, one of 32, one of 34, but one of 34 was returned 29, so they only had a net of 5 yards on it. That was the one that Breeze returned it. Alexandria back down around their goal line. Bunch puts a foot into it at midfield. Tigers pick it up. Breeze at the 6. He reverses field, gets up to the 10. About a 4-yard punt return by Breeze. The line of scrimmage on that punt was the Tiger 40. It went down in the air to the 5, 35-yard punt, 5-yard return, 30 yards net on the punt for Todd Breeze.
Number 60, Rod Birdsall, and also 54, Joe Rivers down there real quick for Elwood, getting a hold of Breeze this time before he can get started. Now for Alexandria.
46 seconds, clock rolling down, first half. Alexandria about 90 yards away from pay dirt. They trail 7-6. Elwood on top by 1. Here come the Tigers. It's Phipps handing off to the first back through. That is Brett King. Brett King picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
Number 86, Joby Gibbons, the defensive end, wraps up Brett King for after a pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now.
Checking in to the Tiger lineup, Tom Courtney. To the sidelines is Dean Moorhead.
10 rushes now for Brett King this evening, 35 yards.
Only a sophomore, doing quite well. Averaging a little bit over 3 yards a carry so far.
Nothing wrong with that.
3.5 yards a carry so far tonight for Brett King. Under 4 minutes to play first half. Here's Phipps. and he barely gets the play off, and we've got whistles everywhere.
Maybe a little too much time on that play, John, the way it was, because it blew the whistle just as the play was starting. I believe that's the first penalty in this game tonight, John.
Well, I don't remember one before this. I think you're right.
I'm keeping the stats. I should know that, shouldn't I, John? Of course, we're into the fourth week. The guys are getting a little more settled, John, so not as many penalties.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of them last week, though, in that Highland and Madison Heights ball game. We probably had enough to march off a mile or so. 3:40 to play, first half. Alexandria pro set backfield behind the quarterback Phipps. And he hands off to the first back through, and diving over the top is Craig Eden. Eden might have picked up 3 yards on the dive, and I've got to give him a 7 on the dive. I mean, he had good form.
Yeah, it was. He picks up right at 3 yards, John, now, so it'll be 3rd down and about 1 yard for the first down.
It kind of looked like a Marcus Allen dive.
Sure was.
Plays for the LA Raiders. I mean, he sacrificed the body. He put it up there, and anybody could come through there and hit him while he's up in the air diving. I mean, you know, you're pretty much putting yourself up there for a free shot. 3 minutes to play. First half, 3rd, and we'll call it 1 for the Tigers. They need to go to the 21-yard line. They're at the 20. Hand off, goes straight ahead to Brett King, and King gets enough for the 1st and 10, and Alexandria will keep possession of the football with 2:49 as they get a 1st and 10, 3-yard pickup by King. He need to go to 21. He gets 2 extra to the 23.
Number 34, Chris Noon, his running mate on the other side on that tackle, John. So it's 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
2 minutes, 40 seconds, and the clock moving down here in the first half. Elwood 7, Alexandria 6. Alexandria with the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Phipps pitches back to Eden. He goes wide to left-hand side. Eden turns the corner. He's up to the 30. He's up to the 35, to the 37-yard line. Nice run there by Eden. Eden picks up. We'll give him 13 yards on the carry. That's his longest run so far tonight from scrimmage.
Number 72, Dan Sally over there, not real quick for the Elwood Panthers, but I'll tell you what, give a lot of credit to Brett King on a block on the defensive end there, John, that turned Eden loose on that 13-yard pickup.
Well, he's one of those guys that looks like Dan Salee. 2:07 to play. In the first half, Tigers 1st and 10 from their own 36. Phipps, misdirection, handoff goes to Breeze. Breeze up over midfield. He's got one man to beat. That's Mike Davis. Breeze down to the 20, the 10. He's driven out of bounds. Todd Breeze driven out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. It was a reverse to the wide receiver, Todd Breeze. Breeze coming from the near side of the field, going to the far side, took the ball, and we've got a penalty, and it might bring this great run by Todd Breeze back. It went from the Tiger 36 to the 9-yard line. So that's 14 to midfield, and another 31. 45 yards, Todd Breeze. It's going to be called back because of a penalty against Alexandria. Todd Breeze on reverse, 45 yards, called back. And Fred's just holding his head out there, Fred Avan.
Todd Breeze redeeming himself from that earlier punt fumble, but
he's got sprinter speed.
It's a long walk back now for Breeze.
I think you're the only one that could catch him in this place.
It could be, John.
Since you used to be on the Indiana University track team.
Yeah, rumors has it that I did. No, you are correct, John. I don't know if I could catch him now or not.
Well, they bring it back, and Alexandria is faced with a 1st and 20 after a play that could have set him right up near the Elwood goal line, down around the Elwood 9. It brings it all the way back on the penalty. Elk faces 1st and 20 from their own 26-yard line. Here's Phipps dropping back to pass, looking downfield. He's going to put it in the air. He's got a man, and it's intercepted by Elwood. The Panthers intercept at the Tiger 45-yard line. It was Mike Davis. Mike Davis with the interception.
Had the man open, John, just not quite enough on that ball. The ball might be a little damp out there, John. I don't know. It looked like, because Chad Phipps has got a strong arm. Had the man, just didn't have enough on the ball to get it there. It gets the interception. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Elwood with 1:46 to go in this first half.
Well, Lady Luck's been smiling on the Panthers here in the first half. Elwood picks up what proves to be their first touchdown. A fumbled punt return by Alexandria. Now Alexandria has a big run called back because of a penalty. Elwood in pretty decent field position from the Tiger 45 after the interception. It's a shovel pass forward from the quarterback Etchison to Noon, but Noon has no place to go, so the Tigers have good defense.
Number 72, Jason Reeling, also 75, Brad DeRuza in there, Chad Dyer, basically the whole front line for King, 11 rushes for 38 yards.
Well, look at Noon so far on the year. He's carried the ball 69 times in his first 3 games for 356 yards. He's no stranger to carrying the football. Dropping back to pass is Elwood. Etchison is going to be sacked way back at the Panther 44-yard line, and Alexandria brought the Army that time, and Elwood's offensive pass blocking just broke down.
Number 82, Brett Yagi back there real quick. Also Clarence Burr, number 62. And that's just the way that Alexandria defense is. Throws a lot of things at that offensive line, confuses them.
Well, Mark Hughes is definitely Tigers. It has been Brett King. He's carried the ball a total of 11 times for 38 yards.
Only one pass attempted by Alexandria, and it was intercepted just a while ago, John.
3rd and long, 23 for the Panthers from their own 45. Etchison hands off to Noon. Noon might have got up over the 45 to the 46. Noon picks up a couple, but 2's not what he needed. He needed 23.
You're right, John. So it's a 4th down now and 20.
Another timeout in the action. Ellick with 56. Wood. 4th and 20 will have to punt from their own 46-yard line. It is Bunch back to punt, and Bunch puts a foot into it, straight down the field. Alexandria picks it up. Breeze at the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, out of bounds at the 45. We've got a yellow flag on the far side of the field, and Mark Hughes is definitely upset with his punt defense. I'll tell you, Breeze, once he gets past a few people, he's tough to bring down because of his speed. He's got a lot of speed. He just outruns people.
Elwood did have that covered fairly well, had 2 men right down in front of Breeze when he caught the ball, and he just outran him like you were talking about, John.
Well, penalty's going to bring it back. Breeze got the ball in the 20, took it to the 45-yard line. That's a 25-yard punt return, and Breeze has it brought back. Breeze had a 45-yard reverse play on the last offensive series for Alexandria called back because of a penalty. You put some of those yards up for Breeze, and he's nearing 100 here at halftime.
He's saying I should have almost 100 yards tonight, and here I am officially only have 4 yards on tonight, John.
I say run an uneven line here to the far side of the field and run the old campus sweep. Breeze is quick enough that, you know, once he gets by a few people, I think maybe one guy on Elwood, maybe Chris Nooner, or possibly if Derek Paquin's playing defense, that can catch him. Here come the Tigers, 1st and 10, 44 seconds to play, first half. Tigers from a pro set behind Phipps. Phipps on that shovel fake, quarterback keep. Phipps dives forward, gets up to the 39-yard line. About a 9.5-yard pickup for Phipps. Ellick quickly with a timeout with 37 seconds to play first half. We'll take a time in. Well, their touchdown was set up by a fine punt return by Todd Breeze at 29 yards.
So we can give credit Todd Breeze for setting up both scores tonight, John.
Yep, he fumbled one away to Elwood, and he made one for Ellick. He didn't actually make the touchdown, but he set up Ellick in good field position. Alexandria going for the marbles. They rifle it downfield. Chad Phipps is intercepted down around the Elwood 40-yard line. Interception by Rob Morrow, 5'9", 140, and a senior defensive back.
That's the second pass for Chad Phipps. He just doesn't have a whole lot on that ball tonight, John. We saw him play 2 weeks ago, and he's got a stronger arm than that. I don't know what it is.
Tigers with 3 turnovers unofficially here in the first half. Wait a minute. We got a flag out on the field, and it might nullify this Elwood interception.
The Alexandria offense staying out on the field, John. Of course, who was involved in that penalty flag was Todd Breeze. He was the intended receiver on that.
Todd Breeze, a kid that can run like lightning, and they call him Breeze. Just kind of breezes by you, 5'10", 160. And am I right? I've got him down for a sophomore. And Todd Breeze, as we look, they've got him down on the program as a sophomore. Fred's got to be smiling there.
I'm sure he is.
The kid is quick.
But the track coach is happy here, too,
That's
John.
Fred. That's Fred, too.
Okay.
Yeah. He's both, football and track. So he's smiling in the fall and in the spring.
That's the way my high school was, John. Track and football was the same one, and it seemed like track season was just an extension of football practice.
Just not as physical, right?
Just not quite as physical.
Well, the penalty is going to be against Elwood, and they're going to give the Tigers the ball And it's going to be at the 46-yard line of Elwood. 1st and 10, Ellick from the Elwood 46, 25 seconds left in the first half. Phipps rolling back to pass. He's under pressure. Little screen pass, and it's intercepted, and we got another yellow flag, and I think we got roughing the passer against Elwood. Phipps just turned, and on that screen, Elwood had a defensive man there to read the play. He read the screen, stepped up and intercepted it. Rod Bertzel read the screen perfectly, intercepted it, but I think we're going to see another interception of Chad Phipps taken away because of Elwood roughing the quarterback.
Yeah, they were in there, and after the pass, John, you know, that's a real tricky call. Basically, you got to stay away from that quarterback, but that's the call, roughing the passer. 1st and 10 now, 19 seconds to go, and Alexandria is on the 30-yard line.
19 seconds to play, and they say, let's run the clock. 17, 16, no time left. Alexandria's got to hurry up, maybe try to get a play off. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Phipps gets the snap with 5, 4. Phipps back to pass, looking downfield. He's going to put it up for all the marbles down at the end zone. And it's intercepted right at the 3-yard line. And that will end the first half of play. Phipps rifles it downfield, trying to get it to Todd Breeze at the goal line. It's knocked down by the Elwood defense. And at the end of one half of play, it is Elwood 7, Alexandria 6. Elwood leads by virtue of a blocked extra point. Tigers, Brett King, Todd Breeze, and Tom Courtney.
And keep it away from Breeze is what Mark Hughes is probably telling them.
And the kick goes right up the field, and King misses the catch, and it rolls through his arms all the way back to the Tiger 5. King is going to be able to spin up to maybe the 6, looks like about the 5-yard line. King went to catch the football, and it went right through his arms. And all he got was air, and by the time he recovered the football, it was at the Tiger 1. He gets to the 5, and well, at least King had the presence of mind to get back there and cover the football after missing it.
Got on the football, of course, just a sophomore. Might be a little bit nervous back there. He's used to someone handing that ball. Going to start in a hole this second half. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Alexandria.
Kind of remind me of Billy Buckner in the World Series last year. Lets a ball roll through his legs, and who knows? Here come the Tigers, 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Phipps hands off, and the ball carrier is Craig Eden. Eden picks up about 3 on the carry. He's up to the Tiger 8, and we'll call it 2nd and 7.
And runs it right into the heart of that Elwood defensive line. Rod Bertzel in there. Also J.C. Wright, John, we're talking about him. He's moved back. He's usually a defensive tackle. Moved him back to linebacker because of all those injuries that Elwood's got.
11 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. We're just underway in the second half. Tigers, we'll call it 2nd and 7 from their own 8-yard line. And here is a running play, and it looks like Brett King going forward. Brett King falling forward to about the 14. He needed to go to the 15 for 1st and 10.
Just about a yard short. John Bunch, 32, the middle linebacker on that. Elwood showing some different defenses here, John. They're lining up with J.C. Wright as a linebacker, but they also putting him up there on that defensive line too, and sometimes Elwood going just with that one linebacker.
10 minutes, 38 seconds to play, third quarter. Tigers, they'll have it 3rd and a short 1. They need to go their own 15. I formation behind Phipps. And here's the handoff by Phipps. King with the ball, and he's up over the 15 to the 16. And Brett King, I keep wanting to say Ricky King. Of course, Ricky King carried the ball for 3 years as a starter for the Tigers, graduated last year. And of course, Brett King, his younger brother.
And of course, John, Fred Avant showing that he has a lot of confidence in Brett King, starting that sophomore, doing an excellent job for him. He has 13 carries now for 46 yards.
Clock in motion, 10:07 remaining, third quarter. Tigers with the football, 1st and 10 from about their own 16-yard line. Phipps, the quarterback, hands off to the second back through, and that is Brett King. King might have got a yard. I say might.
Number 32, John Bunch, blitzing linebacker on that, gets up there in that hole real quick and gets him, and they do give him 1 yard on that, so it'll be 2nd down and 9 now for Alexandria.
Jim, IU football tomorrow. Tell all of our fans when airtime is.
12:05, Don Fisher, all the play-by-play, right? It starts off with the Bill Mallory pregame show. About 12:35, they'll kick it off down the Bluegrass State.
And remember, you get charged for plugs, Jim.
That's right, get charged for plugs, John.
That's what Don Fisher told me on the Bill Mallory show. Hey, we charge you for plugs. Here we go. Tigers with the football, and Brett King runs about maybe 20 yards to the far side of the field, but that's from side to side and not upfield. And King might have picked up 3-4 yards, depending on where they spot the ball.
Number 86, Joby Gibbons over there. Also 32, John Bunch. And Chris Noon comes across from the other side of the field. Basically runs him out, like you said, runs 20 and picks up what, John, about 3?
No, he runs all the way over to the far sideline, and then he finally turned upfield. 8:47, third quarter remaining. Tigers with the football, 3rd and 7. Wait a minute. 3rd and about a long 5.
We got our scoreboard keeper here. John's a little bit behind on it.
Yeah. Don't pick on him. He's my neighbor.
We do have a penalty flag down on the field, though.
8 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. And that's in the 3rd quarter. And the Tigers are going to be assessed a penalty. So I guess he's going to be right after all once they mark the penalty on.
He has that ESP. And
telepathic. Well, it's going to be 3rd and 8, he says. We're close.
Alexandria starts a little bit quick, penalized 5 yards, 3rd down and 8 now.
Well, the Tigers push it up a few yards, and now they push it back because of an illegal motion penalty. 3rd and 8 for the Tigers. They need to go up to the 27-yard line. Here's the reverse to Todd Breeze. If he gets a little room, look out. This time Breeze is shut down, and we've got a yellow flag thrown on the far side of the field where Breeze was tackled at the Tiger 24. Right at the end of the play, the official just threw the flag right down where Breeze was laying on the ground.
Well, number 52, Randy Burris, lining up in there and brings the Breeze down. We've had a couple penalties already of late tackles and stuff, John.
What do you think, face mask?
Could be.
We'll see. I think we got a face mask. I think someone got Breeze right around the face mask. Nope. Yep, face mask.
Good call, John.
Oh, I was lucky there. I was really sweating it for a second. So what's that, 1 for 1, both of us?
We're both 1 for 1.
Why don't we just quit while we're ahead?
I think we should.
Okay. We're having fun here at Alexandria tonight, and certainly the fans are. It's a very tight ball game, 7-6. Elwood on top by 1. Tigers have the football. 1st and 10, Alexandria from about their 37-yard line. A running play by Brett King gets it up over the Tiger 40 to about the 41. He goes from the 30, we'll say 38 to 41. 3-yard pickup for King.
And number 36 in on that tackle, Gary Costin for the Elwood Panthers. 2nd down and 7 now.
I'm surprised you didn't say anything. I'm wearing my St. Louis Cardinal shirt tonight.
Well, I finally talked some sense into you, John. Got away from those Reds and went to, I shouldn't say it around here, though, should I?
They don't know where you live, so don't worry. Craig Eden off left tackle for the Alexandria Tigers. Picks up a few yards. And we're going to give him about 3 yards on the carry. Gets it up to the Tiger 45, but still he's about 4 yards shy, maybe 3.5 yards shy.
They're running right into the heart of that Elwood defense. And like you said, in years past, it's usually Elwood, the big boys, while Alexandria is this, and they're just saying, well, you got to stop us. And so far, they haven't been able to.
Well, Fred said in the pregame interview, it goes in cycles as far as size. Alexandria, not much size over the last few years. They've got some big boys up there. Here come the Tigers from their own 45. They need to go to about the 49 for a 1st and 10, 3rd and 4. Here's Phipps handing off to Craig Eden. He dives forward. Eden maybe picks up a couple. That'll bring up about a 4th and a long 1 for Elk in a punting situation from their own 47.
Number 40, Rob Morrow over there real quick, reading that for. Also number 34, Chris Noon in on the tackles. Should be 4th and 2, John.
Yep, 4th and 2 is what they're going to call it. And Elwood will drop couple people back to receive the punt. Number 3, Jay Courtney. Number 34, Chris Noon. To do the booting for Alexandria will be Gary Waymeyer, number 86. Waymeyer, of course, is an alternate, running plays in and out from his wide receiver position. Alternating plays in and out. And we've got a yellow flag before the snap can get off for the punt.
John, I think we might have too many.
Time.
Too much time?
Yep.
I was going to go with too many players.
Delay a game, too much time against Alexandria.
Another good call, John.
Well, I'd already seen him make the indication. That doesn't count. 5:56 remains quarter number 3. Alexandria 4th and now 7 after taking too much time. Ball on the Tiger 41. And Waymeyer puts a foot into it at the 30. It hits at the 36 of Elwood, rolls down to inside the 30, down to the 28. Very effective punt by Waymeyer. Line of scrimmage was the 41, so you got 9 to midfield, and then another 21, 30-yard punt. No return.
Of course, Alexandria starting deep in that their own territory from about the 5-yard line on that last series, John. Gets it out to about midfield. And of course, Brett King, 16 carries now, 54 yards. We'll see what his counterpart, Chris Noon, can do. 1st and 10 for Elwood.
Clock in motion, 5:35 to play, 3rd quarter. I formation Elwood. Etchison hands off to the second back through. That's Noon. And Noon is up over the 30 to about the, we'll call it 33 maybe? What do you think, Jim?
I'll agree with you there. Yeah, 33 and a half yard line. Pick up a 4, 2nd down and 6. DeRue's in on that tackle, rides him down, but I'll tell you what, Chris Noon carried some of those big boys for a couple yards.
Alex been running a split 6. They've shifted into a 5-man line, and they've given the Elwood offense a few times guessing what their defense is going to be. They've done a lot of different shifts on their defensive formation, Alec has. Here's Elwood, 2nd and 6. Etchison hands off to the first back through, and that is a nice run. Still on his feet for the Elwood Panthers is Cale Martin. Martin takes that football from the 29-yard line of Elwood up to the 43-yard line of Alexandria. So that's 21 yards to midfield, and then you tack on another 7. Boy, nice run, 28 yards. Cale Martin looked like he was going to be brought down after about a 15, 16-yard gain. Stumbled forward and then caught himself and went another, 13 yards before he was brought down.
Number 21, Tom Courtney, finally runs him down, John. 1st and 10.
Elwood 1st and 10 in Tiger territory, but we've got the right side of the Elwood line jumping off. And over there, it was Max Costin jumping off, the right guard for the Elwood Panthers.
They were so excited from that last play, John. They were ready to go. It'll put them back 1st and 15 now from the, what do we got here, John? Maybe the 48-yard line?
Yeah, I'd say it's splitting the 48-yard line. You know, every game that Alexandria has been in, except for the first game where they lost to Pendleton 20-6, it's been a very low-scoring game. And Alexandria won 2 of their first 3. They've scored twice, their opponent only once. 7-6, still a low-scoring game. 4:05 to play, 3rd quarter. From the I formation, Elwood, pitch back Etchison to Noon. Noon's got some room on the outside, 50, 45, 40, down inside the 40, and he's tackled at about the Tiger 36-yard line. Nice run by Chris Noon of Elwood. Good blocking on the outside, too, by the Elwood offensive line. On that side was John Bunch, Wally Moody, and Max Costin trying to maybe cancel out that 5-yard penalty. Got a little bit ago with a good block.
Number 11, Derek Thurston, finally trips him up, but he is lead back. Gary Costin out there, like you said, John, pulled a guard out. It'll be 2nd and 5 now.
Good run there by Noon. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Pro set backfield behind the quarterback, Etchison. He hands off to the first back through, and the handoff for Elwood goes to Chris Noon. Noon at the bottom of the pile, and he gets down to the, we'll call it 35 of Alexandria. Still, he's going to be about a yard and a half shy of a 1st and 10.
Jason Reeling in there on him, John. Jason Reeling, 6'1", 260 pounds, and I'll tell you what, Chris Noon just took him for a couple yards before he got him down.
Well, Noon's got them strong legs. You got to hit Noon, and you got to wrap him. You just don't hit him and try to arm tackle him. You got to wrap him and bring him down. 2:50 to play, 3rd quarter. Elwood with the football, 3rd and short 1. Noon off left tackle, and he's, I don't know, very close. Depending on where they spot that forward momentum, he's got enough for 1st and 10 just from here, I can tell. When he was hit hard.
You give some credit to number 82, Brett Yegi, and for standing him up, John, at the line of scrimmage, and number 62, Clarence Burr, comes in there, and they give him the 1st down, but he just did pick up that 1 yard needed.
He paid for it.
He sure did. He's carried the ball 16 times tonight already, John, for 72 yards.
He got it the old-fashioned way. He earned it.
Earned it.
2:30 to play, 3rd quarter. Elwood now with a 1st and 10 from about the Alexandria 33. And it's a handoff by Etchison to Noon. He goes off right guard and tackle, and Noon runs for about 5 yards inside the Tiger 30 to about the Tiger 28-yard line.
Number 72, Jason Reeling in there also. Chad Dyer just stacking it up in there. And, of course, as always, number 62, Clarence Burr in there on that tackle, too.
Of course, Burr is the defensive captain of Alexandria, looking over at sidelines at Fred, trying to get his defensive alignment for the next play. Minute 53, clock running down in the third quarter. Elwood with the ball, 2nd and 6 from the Tiger 28-yard line. Elwood ahead 7-6. Here comes Etchison. He hands off to Noon. Noon up over the 25, falling forward to 21, and that's enough for a 1st and 10. Noon needed 6 yards, and he got it. He actually got 7.
Number 21, Tom Courtney, that monster back, moving all over the field, finally on that tackle there. But like you said, not after it picks up of about 7 yards.
Well, they're going to bring the chains out. I might have spoken prematurely, but we'll wait and see. If I did, it's just by inches. I think he's got it. They're stretching those chains out there now. Let's wait and see. Yeah, he got it.
Oh, he got a lot by a long way. Yeah. Football length.
Football length. Length to the football. Minute 36 to play. Third quarter. Our score here at Alexandria, it's Elwood 7, Alexandria 6, and Elwood in pretty good field position now. They've got it 1st and 10 from the Alexandria, we'll call it 21.5-yard line. Here we go, and a handoff for Elwood. Goes their first back through. It looks like Noon was a ball carrier. Etchison just completed a fake for Elwood, the quarterback, and he got hammered by Yagi.
Number 82, Yagi in there, John, and stacks him up right at the line of scrimmage. And, of course, Clarence Burr right there, too. Pickup of what? We'll give him 2 yards on that, 2nd and 8.
We'll see how tough the Tiger defense is. Of course, Alexandria defense, first time on the field tonight, stopped Elwood, and then on a punt, Alexandria fumbled it. Alexandria's defense had to play 2 sets of downs straight. Here comes Noon on the reverse. He's inside the 15. And misdirection, they hand off to one back. Noon comes from the left side to the right. Noon goes inside to 15, down to about the 13. Noon with about a 9-yard carry, 8 or 9-yard carry.
Number 72, Jason Reeling, also 32, Jamie Heiser in there, though, but not before about a pickup of 9.
Maybe time for one more play here in the third quarter. I formation behind the quarterback Etchison for the Elwood Panthers. And over here, we've got Paquin split out wide to left side. Courtney on the right. Handoff goes up the middle. And it looks like it is going to be enough for an Elwood 1st and 10. Panther ball carrier gets up to, we'll say, the 10-yard line of Alexandria. He picked up about 3 yards.
Usually, John, we've seen Alexandria in the second half, their defense take over, but I'll tell you what, that Elwood line doing a very good job blocking.
Noon, the ball carrier, give him 3 on the last play. That's the end of the third quarter as we've got triple zeros up on 6. Elwood on top. They've got it 1st and 10 from right at the Alexandria 10-yard line. Here we go. And Etchison hands off to Noon. Noon goes off left tackle. He's inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. Give Noon a carry of 4, and it'll be 2nd, and we'll call it 7.
Number 82, Brett Yagi in there real quick, John, but like you said, he stretches out for a pickup of about 4. He now carried the ball 22 times, and he has 99 yards, John.
11 minutes, 37 seconds to play in a game. 2nd and goal for the Elwood Panthers from the Alexandria 7. Pro set, wide pro set with Costin and Noon, and the pitch back goes to Noon. He's inside the 5, down to the 3, down to the 2-yard line. Noon picks up 5 yards off left tackle for Elwood.
Number 62, Clarence Burr over there real quick and saves it from a touchdown, but he's real close, John, about 2 yards out. Should be 3rd and 2 for the goal.
Well, Alexandria trailing by 1 because of a blocked extra point after touchdown, their lone touchdown. Elwood trying to go up by a full score now. They can go up by 7 with a touchdown here. They already lead by 1. A handoff goes to Noon. He dives across the goal line, and Noon from 2 yards out has his 2nd touchdown this evening.
Of course, Marcus Allen style touchdown there, John. Kind of dives over the inline Marcus Allen style. Number 34, Chris Noon, basically the only ball carrier on that drive. Let's see, he carried the ball 9 times in that possession, and of course he's got a total of 23 carries tonight for 104 yards, and like you were saying, John, he's averaging 125 per game on the year.
13-6, Elwood up by 7. On that extra point, Tim Fallstick. It is up, and it is good. Tim Fallstick adds the extra point. Elwood goes up 14-6. So Alexandria would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to even tie the game up now as Elwood leads by 8.
Of course, that mixed extra point does play into it now, John. Like you were saying, needs a touchdown and the extra 2 points. 10:50 to go, though, John. Anything can happen in these ball games. Of course, Todd Breeze for the Alexandria Tigers to return this ball. Also, number 21 back there, Tom Courtney.
To kick off, Tim Fallstick for the Elwood Panthers. He'll do the honors from his own 40-yard line. 10:50 to play in the ball game. Elwood up by 8. Fallstick with a foot into it. Tigers will pick it up at about the 30-yard line. And boy, they're lucky there. One of the up men touched the football and just let it bounce around. They're lucky the ball went out of bounds.
You know, John, Alexandria hasn't had a whole lot of luck tonight as far as, of course, Todd Breeze fumbles that punt. Brett King fumbled the kickoff return there to start the half, and now they fumble this one a little bit. So Fred Avan will probably address that. 3
big turnovers. The one that you're talking about on Brett King on the starting of the second half kickoff return, it just went through his arms. I don't even think he touched. The ball rolled back to the 1, and King gets stapled at the 5-yard line by the Elwood kickoff return defense. And Alexandria has to start in the second half in a hole. Here's the best field position they've had pretty much here in the second half. Tigers 1st and 10 from about their 25-yard line. It's a running play for the Tigers up to maybe the 34, 35-yard line. They say the 34-yard line. The actual line of scrimmage there was the 28 instead of the 25 as they marked it. They say it hit on that Tiger player, and it rolled out of bounds at the 28. So Tigers have it second, and we'll call it 5 from about their own 34. Tigers need to go 39 for a 1st and 10. 14-6, Elwood on top. Tigers with the football. Here's Phipps. Gonna keep the football, go outside, 45. He is up over the 50, down to about the 49-yard line of Elwood.
Number 40, Rob Morrow, in on that tackle. John kind of made the mistake of trying to stand Phipps up, because Phipps a big boy, right about 6'5". Morrow only 5'9", 140. Phipps picks up a couple extra yards there and gets a 1st down.
9 minutes, 57 seconds to play, and we've got a timeout on the field. We'll take a time in for Yellow Tigers of Yorktown instead of the Red and Gold Tigers of Alexandria. And, of course, those Yorktown Tigers, 3-0 so far, take on Muncie North. And we'll have it on the air, 7:05 from Muncie Central Field tomorrow night. I formation for Alexandria. 1st and 10 from the Elwood 49. Phipps calling out the signals. Gets a snap from Sylvie, pitches back to King. He lost his footing there. He just tried to make the pivot and turn, and his feet come out from under him.
And number 86, Joby Gibbons back there pretty quick too. A loss of about, a yard, John. So if they give him 2-yard loss, it'll be 2nd down and 12 now from the 50-yard line.
One thing I haven't seen the Tigers do that we saw in the first game against Madison Grant, and that is go by the air, as they were able to complete 2 big passes to Brandon Allen, and that went over Madison Grant, one of 58 yards and one of 40 yards, and I haven't seen that tonight, but Elwood's got a decent secondary on defense. Here come the Tigers, 2nd and 12. They lost 2 the last play. Phipps pitches back to Eden. Eden driven out of bounds at, we'll say, the 46-yard line. Gains back about 3, maybe 4 yards, depending on where they spot it. Alexandria's still going to have a 3rd and long 7 facing them.
Number 36, Gary Cossins runs him out. John, you know, you were talking about passing just a second ago. Alexandria's attempted 4 passes tonight. All 4 of them have been intercepted. Now, only 2 of them officially, because 2 of them called back for penalties, but I expected to see a lot more passing because Chad Phipps can throw the ball.
I figured he'd go downfield and try to hit Brandon Allen, but Allen's playing a tight end. Here's Phipps, handing off, 2nd back through. Here's Eden going off left side, 40, 35, 30, 25, and he's out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Beautiful run by Eden. Eden that time goes from the 43 down to about the 24, and we'll give Eden 19 yards on the carry.
Nice pick up there, John. Broke a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, finally run out of bounds by number 52, Randy Burris, and that's the big break I think Alexandria needed. They're down deep now, 1st and 10 from about the 23-yard line.
9:07 to play in our ball game. Tigers on the move, but the Elwood Panthers lead it now, 14-6. Here's Phipps handing off to Brett King. He goes forward on a running play inside the Elwood 20 to about the Elwood 19. Tigers picking it up a little bit by a little bit, other than that running play that picked up 19 by Craig Eden. That's his longest run of the night, too.
Number 60, Rod Birdsall, stacking it up in there. Also, Joby Gibbons. Pickup of about 3. They gave him 4 on that. 2nd down and 6, they say.
Clock in motion, 8:40 remaining in the ball game. Tigers going to split. Looks like Moorhead clear out over on the far side of the field to the right. Here's Phipps handing off to Eden. We have got a penalty against the Alexandria Tigers. Illegal motion, I think, is what we're going to see. We're going to wait and see.
I believe you're right, John.
It's going to be against Elwood, I believe. I saw some motion in there. I didn't know whether Elwood was drawn off or Alexandria made the initial motion offside.
Not a whole lot of penalties tonight, John, we were talking about earlier, but I'll tell you, 2 of the penalties were roughing the passer.
It's going to be against Alec. So I was right initially. 8:26 to play in a ball game, and it's going to be a 5-yarder assessed against the Tigers. Going to bring Alexandria back to their own 25. About 2nd, 11, facing Tigers from Elwood 25.
8:26 to go in this game. Elwood up 14-6, John, and Alexandria did not need that penalty.
No, they didn't. They had things moving in the right direction. Now they're backed up 5 more yards. Here comes Phipps, the quarterback, with a 2nd and 11. Hands off to Brett King as his legs knocked out from under him at the Elwood 20. 8:07, 8:06, and this ground game continues to chew up time on the clock, but there's an Elwood Panther player injured on the field. We've got an injury timeout and, of course, a time in for one of our fine sponsors, Little Dutch Cleaners in Alexandria.
Little Dutch Cleaners.
7:54 to play in the ball game. Back to action. 3rd and 8. Alexandria from the Elwood 20. Hand off to Brett King. Brett King's going to go in for the touchdown. Brett King goes 20 yards for the touchdown. He could just sense that he had an opening. He did a couple of nice fakes to pull the Elwood defense off just a fraction of a step and allow him enough yardage to get by the Elwood defense. 20-yard touchdown run, Brett King. Alexandria is right back in it.
Now they need this 2-point conversion, John, but I'll tell you what, Brett King for a sophomore on the trap play off the right tackle, cut back to his left. Very fine cut, displanted it. Of course, Courtney was there to play.
Tigers going for 2. They trail by 2 after the touchdown. Elwood was up 14-6, now it's 14-12. Big 2-point conversion. Phipps, the quarterback, calling out the signals. Pitches back. It's King. He falls forward and he stops shy. He stopped shy of making it in at about the 1-yard line. King just started falling forward that time.
He just lost his footing on that, John, and basically tackled himself. But 14-12, a lot of time left. This is a battle of 28.
Well, the PAT 2-point conversion after touchdown is no good. Tigers can't 20 yards a ball game. So he's not much off of that right now.
No, he is not.
No, he isn't. Here's Poe to kick it back to the Elwood Panthers after the Tiger touchdown. Low liner. It's going to roll on down the field and out of bounds. Yellow flags fly. Alexandria will have a chance to kick it over.
Going to move him back 5 yards and do it all over. 14-12, Elwood's up. 7:43 to go.
What do you got, Mr. Brett King, so far after that 21-yard touchdown run?
Brett King's carried the ball 20 times tonight for 81 yards, so he's having an excellent night, too, the young sophomore, and I think they found themselves a tailback here at Alexandria, John.
19 carries last week, 75 yards. He's bettered his game this week. 1 more carry and 6 more yards from last week's win over Blackford in the Alexandria Blackford game.
One surprise in this game also, Chad Phipps running that option play. Of course, the quarterback for Alexandria, running that option play very effectively tonight. He's carried the ball 6 times for 38 yards.
It'll be Poe to try it once again as he has to go back to his 35 after kicking it out of bounds that last time. And this kickoff goes down the field. It's going to roll into the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. Elwood will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. We'll take a quick timeout for one of our fine sponsors and be right back.
It's Rex's Red Tag Sale. You'll save plenty of green when you see red, with extra big savings in every department in every Rex store.
No matter what you see or what you hear, you always pay less at Rex.
Name brand color TVs, microwave ovens, audio and video components at low, low prices like this. Zenith 19-inch color portable TV, only $199. RCA VHS-C camcorder with 6-to-1 power zoom, only $9.99. Pioneer AM/FM car stereo with cassette, only $127. Ampex T120 blank video cassettes, only $2.99 each. Limit 10 per customer. For high-tech audio and video components, when you know what you want and you want it for less, it's guaranteed at Rex. If you find the same thing for less within 30 days, we'll refund the difference plus 25% of the difference. That's Rex's 125% price guarantee.
You always pay less at Rex.
Hurry into Rex's Red Tag Sale. Don't miss it.
7:14 to play in a ball game. We missed one play. Mike Davis, a carry off left tackle for 2 yards. 2nd and 8 for Elwood from their own 22. And here's Davis breaking through the initial line of scrimmage. And he is out for a Elwood 1st and 10, all the way up at the Elwood 34-yard line. He goes from the 22 to the 34. Davis picks up 12.
Number 23, Dean Moorhead, basically a saving tackle on that, John. Like you said, he just shot right through that. 1st and 10 now for Elwood.
6:53 to play in a ball game. It is Elwood 14, Alexandria 12 after Alex's last score. Clock in motion. Elwood pro set backfield behind Etchison. Elwood, long cadence, trying to draw Alec off, and the handoff goes right up the gut, and Mr. Davis this time is going no place. Fast.
The defensive line says, not this time. Jason Reeling, Chad Dyer, Jamie Heiser, all of them in there, and of course, number 62, Clarence Burr in there too. Pickup of maybe 1 yard. It's a 2nd and 9 now.
2nd and 9 for the Elwood Panthers from their own 35. They need to go almost to their 45 for a 1st and 10. Elwood's going to bring a couple receivers out here to the near side of the field, split out wide to the near side of the field. I formation for the Elwood Panthers. Long cadence once again. Alexandria staying home. Here's a handoff. First back through, no place to go. Maybe picked up a half yard at best, and Noon was a ball carrier.
Number 82, Brett Yagi on that. The defensive end got in there, no one touched him. John tackled him from behind. Pickup of, right at 1 yard, like you said, John. It'll be 3rd and about 8 now.
3rd and 8 is a call from the scoreboard clock. And here's a big 3rd down play for the Elwood Panthers. Their 1st down, they can cue some considerable time off the clock, which Alexandria can ill afford for the Elwood Panthers to do. Big play for the Panthers. I formation, 3rd and 9. Rolling out is Etchison. He's going to keep the football, and he is going to be sacked for a loss of about a yard. With 5:15 and the clock running down in the ball game, it's 4th, and we'll call it 11, and Elwood will be forced to punt the football. Alexandria will get it back with under 5 minutes to go as the clock continues to run. 5:04 in the ball game.
John, you give all the credit on that play to number 32, Jamie Heiser, the defensive end, because he strung that play out, made the quarterback turn in, and his linebackers were there to pick him up.
Oh, he made a sparkling quarterback sack in that 1st half, too. He's had a couple of key defensive plays for Ellie. 4:47. Don't go anyplace. This baby's going down to the summit. I've got to feel that way. 4:43 to ball game. A bad snap on the punt. Elwood is back deep, and they're gonna get the Elwood punter all the way back down at the 15-yard line. And a bad snap from center on the punt, as you can hear some of the people in the press box saying, "Get him, get him." Of course, we're in the Alexandria press box, and the snap went over John Bunch, the punter's head. Bunch did a good job just to get back to the football at the 10. He returned it to the 16, and the Tigers had the ball 1st and 10 at the Elwood 16-yard line. And Lady Luck had been smiling on Highway 28 West for 3.5 quarters. Lady Luck finally turns her cheek on Elwood, and it smiles on Ellick this time.
Of course, Alexandria basketball coach getting really excited there, Garth Cohn, John, and he's getting ready for that new coach's box they got.
4:25 to play in a ball game, and here's Eden. busting inside the 10-yard line down to the 9. 7-yard carry for Craig Eden, and it just looks like Alexandria's bench just got a shot of adrenaline after that bad punt snap from center on the Elwood Panthers. Back to punt, 4th and 12. The snap from center went high. Alexandria tackled the punter at the 16, started 1st and 10 from the Elwood 16. Eden carries the ball, they say, now for 8 yards at last carry. 2nd and 2 Alexandria with 3:50 to go in the ball game. Here is Phipps calling out the signals. 2nd and 2. Tigers can get another 1st and 10. Here's Eden fighting. He's gonna go all the way down to the 1-yard line. Eden just kept his legs churning. He denied 2 Elwood Panthers from tackling him at the 5, Craig Eden did, and he just kept pushing and pushing, and he got to the 1-yard line. Alexandria 1st and goal from the Elwood 1. These last 2 plays, Eden looks like a different person from the first 3 quarters.
Excellent run there, John. I'll tell you what, J.C. Wright, 5'10", 180 pounds, a linebacker. He knows he's been hit now because Eden just took him.
Here we go. 3:25 to play in the game. 14-12 Elwood. Elk knocking on the door to score. Phipps calling out to Cadence. Handoff goes in the middle to Eden. And Craig Eden is in for 6. And Alexandria goes on top by a score of 18-14.
18-14, John. 3:16 to go. And like you said, it's going to go down to the wire on this one. And of course, Alexandria, Lady Luck did smile on them. Of course, Todd Breeze fumbled that punt in the first half that set up Elwood's first score. Also, a fumbled on the open the second half by Brett King on the kickoff. Basically set up Elwood's other score. And now Alexandria gets them a couple scores up, 18-14.
Well, that high snap from center on Elwood's punt has set up this Alexandria touchdown. Alexandria going for 2. They're up by 4 now, going for the 2-point PAT. Phipps with the keeper, and he runs into the end zone untouched. Chad Phipps goes into the end zone untouched, and the Alexandria Tigers with a 2-point PAT go up now by 6. 2-point conversion is good. Chad Phipps on the 2-yard keeper. Alex up by 6.
And of course, John, like I was talking earlier, Chad Phipps has done a very good job with that option play tonight.
Open. When you've got a Chris Noon on the field, you know, anything is possible. The kid's got sprinter speed. He gets out in the open, and it could be tied up once again.
2 weeks ago in here, John, it got down to the game between Madison Grant and Alexandria. Got to about this point in the ball game, Alexandria's defense knuckled down, rose to the occasion. We'll have to see if they can do it again tonight.
Jim, it looks like you've come to life over the last couple minutes. Kind of bobbing up and down.
Kind of excited, that's true.
3:16 to play. We hope that you're enjoying high school football, and it is at its best in the Central Indiana Conference tonight between Alec and Elwood. Alexandria kicks off to Elwood. It's picked up at the 15. Here come the Elwood Panthers across the Tiger 40. That's a 26-yard kickoff return by Chris Noon. We'll give him 26 yards, and Noon just went right up the gut. Couple people to beat, and we got a tie score again, but Noon stopped at his own 41.
It'll be interesting to see here if this Alexandria defense can shut him down, but Noon now, as he's been the workhorse last time on their scoring drive, carried the ball 9 times. He now has 24 carries, 105 yards. 1st and 10 now for Elwood.
3 minutes remaining and a clock running in a ball game. I formation, Elwood Panthers. Etchison back to pass. Good fake. Rolling out to the far side of the field. Downfield, he's got a man wide open. It's caught by the Elwood Panthers at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. He's in for a touchdown. It's Derek Paquin. The Elwood Panthers strike with a 59-yard touchdown pass from John Etchison to Derek Paquin. And in just a few seconds, a matter of a few seconds, the Elwood Panthers have tied this game right back up.
You give all the credit on that play, setting up to an excellent fake to Chris Noon into that defensive line. Swings out the quarterback, number 12, Etchison, completes that pass to number 29, Derek Pagan. 59-yard touchdown pass. It's now 20-20 as Elwood goes for the extra point.
Extra point, and it's a bad snap. Elwood's going to have to try to throw it, and they do. They get it up to one of the linemen. No, it wasn't a lineman. It was a tight end that they were trying to get the football to, John Bunch. The snap was low, back to Jay Courtney. Courtney couldn't get the ball on the tee for false stick to guys for the extra point. Bad snap on extra point. Jay Courtney throws to John Bunch. Bunch tackled before he can get in the end zone. It fails on the extra point. Now we're at 20-20. And now the kickoff by Fallstick. It's bobbled by Alexander's Tom Courtney at the 20 to the 25. Maybe the 30-yard line for Tom Courtney. Return of about 10 yards. Woo! We've had a lot of action here in the last couple minutes.
Sure have. Of course, Chris Noon faking into that line, John. That's what happens when you've got a running back like Chris Noon. Always aware of him. 24 carries, 105 yards. They fake it into the line, complete that big 59-yard touchdown pass. Alexandria now takes over 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line with 2:39 to go in this ball game.
Well, we might see possibly our first overtime game of the year. Alexandria with a fumble, loose ball, but the Tigers get back on it, I believe. I think the Tigers got back on the football, but it's way back around their own 22-yard line. A misexchange between the quarterback and center, I've got to feel there. Phipps was turning to pivot to hand the football off to a running back. He really didn't have possession of football from the center when he was doing it.
Was bobbling the ball when he turned around. You are right, John. He and Brett King run into each other then fumble, but Phipps does get back on it.
Hey, we're getting our money's worth here tonight, baby. 2:02, 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Clock running down. Alexandria with the ball, second and a long 18 from their own 22 after that fumble, but they got it back. Phipps rolling, pitches back to Eden. Eden trying to go outside. He gets over the 25 to about the 27-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long anyway. 3rd and, well, what are we going to, 13?
Number 60, Rod Birdsall on that stop, and you are right, John. 3rd and 13. The minute 34 to go.
Clock running, minute 29 to go in the ball game, and what did I say? Elwood had the big play man. I said Noon's name, but it was Paquin. That's the one I left out because he's got, you know, he was a cross-country runner, and he had something wrong in the cross-country. I think it was an allergy acting up, so he quit cross-country and went to football, and you got to believe if you're Mark Hughes, you're happy about that fact. Here come the Alexandria Tigers on a 3rd and 12. They pick up about 3. Tigers will be forced to punt with a minute 4 to play in a ball game.
Brett King picks up about 4 yards on that carry. I think they're just trying to get it back to the middle of the field. 57 seconds to go.
You know, the cross-country coach at Elwood didn't like losing Derek Paquin, but you got to believe Hughesy, Mark Hughes of the Elwood Panthers, their head coach, was delighted to hear that Paquin was going to be playing football instead of running cross-country. And because of the allergy in cross-country, he's over on the football team. Here's the Alec back to punt. Flags everywhere. Low liner. It's fumbled by Elwood. And the Elwood Panthers punt return man returns it to the 34. We'll pick up a number when they unpile. It was Courtney on the punt return. But we've got 2 yellow flags back there, 3 yellow flags back there on Alexandria.
Looks like motion called, the preliminary call on Alexandria, John, with 30 seconds to go.
Not much time left. We might be going to OT for the first time this year. And how it went down coming into this final quarter, it was still a 7-6 ball game. We've had all of the fireworks, a lot of it, in the second half here in this 4th quarter. First score in the 4th quarter. Elwood 2-yard touchdown run by Chris Noon with 10:50 to play in the ball game. Fallstick's kick good with 7:47 remaining in the ball game. 21-yard touchdown run by Brett King. 2-point PAT was no good for Alexandria. Made it Elwood 14, Alexandria 12. Alex scored with 2:47 to go. Alexandria scored with 3:16 to go in the ball game. They made it 20-14 after the touchdown and a 2-point PAT. And then Elwood scores on a 59-yard pass from Etchison to Paquin, make it 20-20 after their 2-point conversion fails. And we've got a timeout on the field by Fred Avant with 18 seconds. 4 scores, count of 4 scores in this 4th period. We're at 20-20, all tied up. Elwood's got the ball, 18 seconds left in regulation time. It's tied up. Etchison, the quarterback, with an I formation, dropping back to pass, and Alex probably going to be defending deep. The pass thrown out of bounds with 12 seconds remaining. Everybody covered. Alexandria playing deep safety. They're playing nickelbacks, it looked like that time. And the Tigers stop Elwood, and now it's 2nd and 10 for Elwood from about the Panther 45-yard line.
John, I think the thing we got to remember here, of course, a running back like Chris Noon, but as Coach Hughes pointed out in the pregame, Etchison last year was one of the top passers in the state of Indiana. So I guess it's really not that surprising with that 59-yard touchdown.
It was perfect on stride for Paquin. All he had to do is get it in a breadbasket and run with it. 2nd and 10. This should be the last play of the ball game, and the pass is batted down by Alexandria. as Etchison had his arm going forward. 6 seconds left in the ball game, and it's tied up at 20-20.
Speedster number 30, Todd Breeze, in there and deflects that pass, and it'll be now 3rd and 10.
This will no doubt, be the last play of regulation before we go to overtime. Of course, you understand how they play the overtime in high school now.
Yes, sure do. But we'll let you explain it.
Well, the team that wins the coin toss will get the ball in the opponent's 10-20 the score as we wind it down. 6 seconds left. Last play of regulation of the ball game. Facing an overtime period. Etchison, the quarterback, dropping back to pass. He's going to let it go for all the marbles to see if Paquin can get it. He's got it. And he's tackled at the 20-yard line. What a dramatic way to end the ball game, the regulation part of the game. Paquin catches a football at the 30, and he's fighting to try to get free. And Elliott go on defense, and if your defense holds, well, you got a chance for the offense to win it, because they'll get the ball second. Here comes Elwood. They got 4 downs to score from the opponent's 10. Etchison hands off, and Noon goes down to the 5-yard line. So now Noon cut the yardage down in half on that one play with a 5-yard carry. Of course, you know, no time up on the clock. Noon gets down to the 5. It's 2nd and 5 for Elwood.
Clark and Burr, the 2 linebackers for Alexandria, in there pretty quick, but he just hits real quick off that left tackle, John. Pick up a 5.
We might see as they get down close to the goal line, Jim, the high-flying diving Chris Noon, as he's done it 2 or 3 times so far tonight going across the goal line. 2nd and 5 for the Panthers from the Tiger 5-yard line. Handoff goes to Noon. Noon is near the 1-yard line. He didn't quite get in. Noon picks up 4 yards on that carry. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Number 62, Clarence Burr, in on that again. John stands him up at the goal line, and he's right on the, maybe a half a foot away.
Yeah, he's very, very close. You know, and Elwood wants a timeout. We're in the overtime period. It's 20-20. Elwood, in this overtime period, has the ball on the 1-yard line. Here we go. Very close. We might see a high-flying Noon come across to a quarterback keeper. Etchison calling out to Cadence. Hands off to Noon. Noon is in. Touchdown, Chris Noon, in the overtime period.
Now, John, we want to remind everyone that Alexandria turns it around and goes for the same goal line now as Elwood will be defending, and they'll have 4 chances to get into the end zone too.
Chris Noon with a 1-yard run and makes the score 26 Elwood, Alexandria 20. And here's the all-important point after touchdown, whether it's 1 or 2. Elwood's lined up to go for 2 on the 2-point conversion. They're going to make it tough if they can score here. Etchison back to pass. It's blocked. It's knocked down by Alexandria's Derek Thurston. Derek Thurston knocks down the extra point, and now Elwood gets 6 on that overtime score. Alexandria has the football and 4 chances to score from the Elwood 10.
Big play by Derek Thurston, John, because there were 2 Elwood receivers wide open in the end zone. Thurston took a chance, came up and batted that ball down. Paid off this time, 26-20.
Got to go 10 yards, the Tigers do, in 4 plays or the game's over. As Elwood scores on their first possession in the overtime period, Alexandria elected to go on defense in the overtime period first after they won the coin toss. Here we go, 4 plays. Alexandria from the Elwood 10 in overtime. Chad Phipps calling out the signals. And on the misdirection, he hands off to Eden. Eden all the way down to the 4-yard line. That's a 6-yard carry for Craig Eden. And Alexandria, well, we're going to give him the 5-yard carry for Eden. He did the same thing that Noon did on his first carry. He picked up 5, and then Noon picked up 4 and got down to the 1.
John, I was just getting ready to ask you, who would you go with, King or Eden? Because Eden's come to the top now. He's got 77 yards to King's 85 yards. Good tandem backfield tonight.
I think Fred wants a timeout, the Tiger coach.
Bucks, that's right. Alexandria now 2nd down and 5. They need to score, John.
2nd and goal from the Elwood 5 for the Alexandria Tigers. We're in the overtime period. Elwood scored 6, failed on the 2-point conversion. Here we go. Alexandria with the football. Phipps, the quarterback, calling out the signals. He goes to Ricky King, and there's a flag. There's a flag on the play, and we're going to wait and see what the call is. And it looks like a holding call against Alexandria, possibly.
Number 75, Kevin Riley, in there real quick for Elwood, and not a good time to have a penalty, John.
No, it isn't. Now, it'll still remain second down, but it'll march Alexandria back, and we'll wait and see where the spot of the ball is after the hold. Did you pick up the number on the hold, possibly?
No, I did not, John.
Well, we're in overtime period, and no time to tell you on the clock because it's do or die right now for the Alexandria Tigers after Elwood got the ball first in the OT period and scored 6.
Maybe we'll get to see some of that passing we were hoping for now, John. Chad Phipps and, of course, Brandon Allen hooking up the last time we were here for a couple big plays. And, of course, got Todd Breeze out there who's real quick. And
10-yard penalty against Alexandria. It marches them back to the 15. Now it'll be 2nd and 15 for Alexandria to score. Chad Phipps calling out the signals for the Alexandria Tigers. Elwood, 5-man down line, quick pass across the middle. And is it intercepted by the Elwood Panthers? Yes, it is. Elwood wins the ball game. They intercept the pass by Phipps. It was deflected up in the air, and they ended up playing volleyball with the football. It was volleyball all the way. Elwood had 3 defensive players touch the football before they finally came down with it right at the ground. Elwood wins it in dramatic style on a good defensive play. Elwood 26, Alexandria 20 in overtime. Beautiful game tonight here from Time. We'll be back to recap it after we take a time in for our fine sponsors.
Before you pre-plan your funeral arrangements, why not be certain